Hey guys, how's it going? Laura with Garden Answer. I just made this new fairy garden today and I love it. I love how the plants look. I love the pieces that are in it and I love the container. So I wanted to tell you about all the plants that I chose and show you how you can make one yourself. So starting with the container, this one came from Braun. We just unboxed this not that long ago. We'll link the video down below. I got a big box full of beautiful Braun containers, and I think that this one worked out perfectly because it's kind of a woodsy kind of look and all the colors are kind of moody. So the green and the rusty colors look, I think, really good with everything that went into this fairy garden. I filled up the container with soil and I used Espoma Organic, and I know that there's a mix of plants, so that might kind of seem a little contrary to what I usually tell you about making sure to have the right soil for succulents. So I've got some sedum and sempervivums kind of toward the front, but how I typically water my fairy gardens is with a large syringe, just because I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want water to splatter on my pieces. So I'll take my syringe and give these back plants, so the plants lining the back and then my little ivy here, a little bit more water than I give the front plants. So I can kind of control it a little bit better when I use a syringe. So I started planting right up front and I used Angelina sedum, and it's got some gorgeous winter color right now. We just got a new load of plants yesterday down at the garden center. I was so excited just to fill up a box. In fact, I think we posted a picture on Instagram and Facebook of a huge box of plants that I brought home. So that's Angelina sedum, and then I used an ivy. This is just a variegated ivy. I actually borrowed this out of my urban fairy garden that we created a while ago. And that's what I typically do. A lot of people ask me where I put everything and how I have so many plants, and am I constantly buying plants all the time, but I actually borrow from gardens. So I'll make something, enjoy it for a little while, deconstruct it, and use the plants in something else. So this lemon cypress actually came from that garden as well. And something I wanted to do with this garden was kind of keep it a little bit more on the hardy side. I wanted to use plants that could withstand some cold temperatures. Most all of these can, except for the lemon cypress. This is a zone 7, so it can't take quite as cold of temperatures as the rest of everything in here, but if you wanted to put it outside right now, because all of these plants could actually withstand my zone 5 February right now, this one could not, but you could use like a cone boxwood or a grass or something like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. So lemon cypress, and then I used 2 small sprinter boxwoods. I planted a hedge of these in our garden last fall and I just love them, and I had a couple left over. So I don't intend to get a ton of time out of really this whole garden, because I'm going to want to take it apart and give these things room to grow a little bit later on, probably towards the end of spring, beginning of summer. Then I did a hellebore, and this is a pink marble and it's just gorgeous. The foliage is really pretty marbled, little tiny petite flowers. If you guys don't have any hellebores in your garden, you really should think about it. They're also called Lenten rose or Christmas rose, and they're an evergreen, like the shade, and they bloom late winter through spring. Really, really gorgeous. And this one is a dwarf kind of. It only gets 6 to 12 inches tall and about 12 inches wide when it's planted in the landscape. So I'm excited to plant a bunch of these out. And then I put the house in and started planting the roof. When I saw this house, I was so excited. It was the first piece that I wanted to use. It's got a plantable roof that has drain holes built in, so don't have to worry about drainage. It's got a little piece of kind of this netting, like a metal mesh on the bottom. So when your plants root in, it has something to hold on to and it keeps everything in place. But I feel like the roof itself had a pretty generous lip for these type of plants, because these are typically shallow rooted type plants that will do really well in this type of situation. So I started with some sempervivums up front, and I think most of these 2 are called Sunset, and they wintered over in the cold frame actually where we're at right now. And then this one is a green wheel. And then I put in some Angelina sedum. And when I put the sedum in, because these came in 4-inch cans, so they did have quite a bit of soil, but they didn't have really deep roots, so I was able to take off most of that soil, and I left about that much. So it had about that much roots and soil, which was perfect for the roof. I was able just to kind of slap it down and it looks perfect. So then I went in and I tucked in a couple more sempervivums, and then moved over to the other side of the house where I put another Sunset sempervivum right here. Little bit of lemon coral sedum. I had a little bit in my plant room upstairs, so I tucked that in for a little bright pop of yellow. More Angelina, and that pretty much sums up the roof. I think it turned out so cute, and the color on this Angelina is just to die for. And then I came down and, oh, I think I forgot to mention, right after I got done planting the hellebore, I did put a Angelina sedum right in here. So, and then I planted up the little window baskets. They come off the house, so it makes it very easy. I used some more cactus mix and then just put little cuttings down in there. They did have a couple little roots on them, but there's sempervivum and a little bit of sedum in there on both sides. So I did this side, and then we came over and I finished up on that one. And then to finish the garden, I planted a little bit more sedum, some more sempervivums. All of these had roots on them, and then I placed my pieces. This one, his name is Sean, and this is Savannah, and they both have little puppies, very cute. And the bird bath with the little birds on it. I thought it was really cute. So basically that's it. That's how I made the garden. A lot of little plants kind of just poked in there, and it was really fun. I could have just kept going. If this container was larger, I could have done like a pond and some kind of a, I don't know, a creek bed, something like that would be really fun. In fact, I actually do have a pond sitting here that I was thinking about using, and I got ready to go in and put it in, and Aaron was like, it's too bright. I don't think you should use that. He's saving me from myself. I do think that that would have maybe distracted a little bit from this style of garden. I know which garden I can use this in later. And I also have to say, I had to build this 2.5 times. So I got it almost all done, the roof planted, and one of our cameras froze and we lost the footage. So I had to take everything out of the container and redo it again. And then about halfway through, it froze again. So I had to take everything out halfway point and start over again. And that's just what happens. We're out in the cold frame today, and the wind started to blow, and it was kind of like all the condensation was coming down on us, and it's just the way it goes. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. So all of the fairy garden pieces came from myfairygardens.com, and we will link them down below. And like I said, for watering, just one more time, I water with a large syringe, which I have right below me so I could show you. We will link this down below. You can order them on Amazon. So you can drop just the amount of water you need. You can give these back plants, which are just kind of normal water users, you can give them what they need, and then you can give these front succulents a little bit less. So it makes it really easy to control what you're doing. I think that this is one of the best tools I have for succulents and fairy gardens. And I know I mention this every single time, but it is the most common question that I see in the comment section. So I always think it's a good idea to address it, especially when, you know, you've got some differing plant water needs here. And I can absolutely understand somebody looking at this and thinking, this is not gonna work. So that's how I do it. Works great for me. Well, I think that that is it. I hope you guys feel inspired after seeing this fairy garden come together, or that you learned something or gleaned an idea or two. That's always my hope for videos, that will either impart some kind of knowledge or you will feel inspired to go out and create something on your own. And I always love seeing your pictures. A lot of you guys share pictures of what you've created after you've seen our videos, and that really means a whole lot to me. I love seeing them, and I know that everybody else loves to see them too, because I see lots of comments and lots of likes, and it's a really fun community feel. I just love it. I love it when you guys get into it. So keep it going. And we did put together a fast version of this where we just showed the whole planting process, putting it together. So if you're interested in watching that, we will link it down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.